Not every growing town is a great investment, and not every slowdown means that there's trouble on the horizon. If you're wondering whether Taylor still makes sense here in 2026, the truth's in the data, not the hype, okay? I have investors and owner-operators that reach out to me every week with their long-term plans. I encourage you to give me a call or a text at 512-269-7907, and let's talk about your long-term plans. So let's start with what's actually happening. Taylor's population growth has settled into a steady rhythm at about 2.1% over the past year. That's right in line with the rest of Williamson County. More importantly, the job base here has matured. We've moved past the construction boom into longer-term stable jobs. This is due to advanced manufacturing, logistics, and services that support the Samsung plant and its ecosystem. That's the kind of evolution long-term investors like to see. It's not just the new rooftops or one big employer driving things. It's broader, durable growth tied to real wages. This is creating a nice, solid foundation. And history shows markets like that win the long game. Huntsville, Alabama is a great example. Steady, diverse employment growth tends to outperform big flashy booms over time. And that's what we're seeking here, growth with quality, not just quantity. Now let's talk infrastructure, because in 2026, this is where Taylor's story really stands out. The Texas Department of Transportation is putting major money, like over $200 million, into regional improvements right here. That includes upgrades along the US 79 corridor and new connectors heading north towards Round Rock and Hutto. That's a real foundation for sustainable growth. Now, contrast that with the so-called paper growth towns that had big talk but no physical upgrades, no utilities, roads, or broadband to back it up. That's what we're comparing it to. So if you're investing here in my hometown, this is your North Star. Follow the infrastructure spending, not the social media buzz. All right. Now that prices have cooled off from 22, 23, the frenzy we had going on here, this is a market that rewards patience. The sweet spot for most investors right now is that 5 to 7 year hold. Okay. This is something I'm sharing with all of my level of investors. National data backs this up. Rent growth across 2026 has stabilized after a few really bumpy years, which means it's less about quick flips and more about your steady cash flow. Short-term deals just don't pencil like they used to, but well-bought small multifamily properties, flex industrial, or build-to-rent units, those in the right locations, those are producing consistent, predictable returns. Okay, so let's compare raw land, okay, versus the reward on property type. Here's how the landscape breaks down. Raw land, higher risk, longer wait. This only makes sense if zoning and infrastructure already line up. Entry-level single family, pretty stable, but margins are thin. This is better suited for your hybrid owner-operators. Small multifamily or light industrial, that's where 2026 opportunity really is. Strong demand, steady occupancy, and you're insulated from the retail or office kind of volatility. I have investors and owner-operators that reach out to me every week with their long-term plans. I encourage you to give me a call or a text at 512-269-7907, and let's talk about your long-term plans.